Weaponeer here, and kind of getting claustrophobic here. But I'm going to be talking about lights. And as you noticed, earlier videos, I was using this light set. This is a professional light, and I've got a set of them. So this is QL 1000s, and each light is 1000 watts. So they're kind of bright. And you know, just these big pedals here that you typically see on you know, movie sets and stuff like that. Well, these right here are barn doors and allow you to go ahead and help control the light. I didn't use these very often, and I only actually have one set. And the reason is I would typically use softbox, and a softbox light is a light unit that plugs over the top of this. This whole unit right here gets replaced. This right here, just you press the button and it rotates and just pops right off. And then you take your softbox and plug that on. Softbox is a big unit, and it's a big square box, and it holds on the inside reflectors. So, you know, this right here is quartz halogen, so it's going to be quite bright. And the reflectors help reflect more light. And then they go ahead and they put a diffuser over the top of that. And actually, this right here uses 2 diffusers. One diffuser is about right here, and it's just nothing but a white cloth, and it can handle the temperature. And then you have another white cloth on the end, on the very outside, and that helps diffuse the light, and it helps create the proper temperature. And you know, if you go ahead and turn on something like this, I think I got it on. Let's see. Open that pen. I got another diffuser in here right now. It's a honeycomb diffuser in this right here. This right here is hot enough right now to light a cigarette off of. And that right there is extremely hot. I don't like using these very often because, number one, you can hear it. It's terrible sound. Now, this right here can drown out the audio, which is a bad idea. And with the softbox on there, it's not bad. I mean, actually, the video, you know, the light quality from this is exceptional. It's a really nice light. It casts a really nice, pretty light. But it is so hot and so loud that I just don't use it, or use them. I got more than one. Let me move this out of the way. I should have worn the glasses because now I'm seeing spots. Now, I got my stand-in double here, stunt double, and I'm basically using him to describe some of the shadow areas. Now, if you're using regular lights, and most of you guys do that, if you use regular lights, what happens is these areas, like under the nose, under the chin, you know, if you're wearing glasses, you'll have a spot right underneath the glasses. All that ends up being shadow areas, and it really shows up on video. So just having one light is a bad idea. Now, typically you want a 3-light setup. A 3-light setup would be, you know, one on each side and one above. Now you have the one above is typically called a hair light. I like to call it a headlight because a lot of guys don't have hair these days, so we won't go there. So you use that to go ahead and, you know, fill in any of the shadow areas, and then the other lights kind of fill in everything else. Now, I typically use one low, so I'm not using the QL 1000s, obviously. I'm using the Linco lights now, and they're both on. Well, I got more than 3. I got 3 lights, more than 2, and because of that, you know, I've got one low, and it's going up this way, and I got one high, and it's coming down this way. Here's the reason. The one that's high is coming down like this, and it's covering all the high spots. So it's getting a lot of the hair. Some of the light from the ceiling is kind of filling in the top of the head, but majority of it is actually the soft boxes, and that's covering all of the face, except it leaves some shadows, and the shadows are bad shadows. The other one that shines up it's projecting all its light in the shadow areas. Now, and as a whole, those two lights are coming in and they're covering both sides of the face. So you get a much even fill. And as you can see, it's easier to show up actually on one of these than it is on someone else, because you know the color and everything like that is very consistent on this. So it's easier to go ahead and pick out shadows and things. And I still have some areas I could go ahead and light up a little bit more, but for the most part, with my space that I have available, this is about where I like it. Anything else, and you know, I could go ahead and play with it a little bit more, and I can get a little bit better lighting, or I can just go ahead and turn it up a little bit more. Just right here is 50% my lighting, and so I can go ahead and jump this up another 50% easily. So rather than do that, I just go ahead and, you know, I vary the lighting depending on what kind of video I'm going to be shooting. So rather than using the QL1000s, which make a terrible amount of noise, and you know, they have soft boxes, so it's good quality lighting, especially for the price of them, but it's lighting I really can't utilize. It's too hot, too noisy. So I don't use that. So then I started using regular fluorescents and regular cheap lighting like this. And this right here was just your normal Walmart light, and this actually was used to fill in some of the shadows because I was using regular fluorescents but with reflectors and regular house, you know, not photography fluorescents, but regular larger fluorescent lights. And those are just in Walmart reflectors, and those right there would be positioned out there at different locations to go ahead and come in and kind of cover up all the little areas. And I have a reflector on, I got a table in front of me, and there's a reflector on the table, and that helps fill in as well. So that worked okay. When I got the different camera, I noticed that the HD quality still wasn't all that great. So when I went to the Linco lights, like I got now, the quality really made a difference. Once I went ahead and started using the much better Linco lights, that's when the HD quality really came out, and that's where everything is crisper, cleaner. Everything, the colors really come out, and I don't have all the problems with all these little issues where sound is an issue and the temperature is an issue. If you use something like this, they tend to give out like a greenish tint on video, or it can be it's a light bluish greenish tint, and it's hard to notice, but it's there. So you have to compensate for that in software. With the regular lights, with the reflectors, I had to compensate with that in software, and the quality still wasn't there because you're using the amount of light you had, and then you're bumping it up in the software. You're going to lose your quality. So when I got the Linco lights, that's when the quality really started coming out, because I'm not bumping up the light with the software. All I do is I do a simple color correction, and I don't even need to do that anymore. These lights actually produce a much cleaner light, and it's more truer colors and everything like that. So really, I went from doing a lot of editing to just about throwing the thing together and just do a couple of quick edits, and I'm basically done. And I can do that still. It makes it so much easier for me to do the production portion of doing the videos. And now my time that I spent in front of the camera is spent, it's no longer, I don't have to go ahead and do all the setup and stuff like that. I just turn on the lights and start talking. When I'm done, I go ahead and I take it and I convert it, and then I'm basically done. I don't have to do a lot of the editing process. The only time I do a lot of editing is when I also include photography or the high speed. When I use the high speed, I got to do a whole lot of editing because you don't notice it a lot. Probably you do some, but there's nothing steady in my high speed video. It's not one speed. It's lots of increases and decreases, increases and decreases to get the video down to a specific size. And once the video was down to a specific size, then it was easier to watch. So the next video I'm going to be showing the actual Linco lights that I'm using. They're called the Flora, and you're going to be able to see what I'm using and what I'm talking about. And it makes it a little bit easier to have a little background as to what I started out with and what I'm at now, and that way you get to see exactly what went on and what's going on and the quality you see today compared to what you were seeing before. Well, there you go. Have any comments or questions, leave it below. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to rate. I'm Weaponeer, and I'll catch you in the next video.
What you want? Come on.